No, I was not in Morocco, but I have to tell you that. You know, it was made before Morocco, but you know, they need to set up all these things with a couple of weeks. But no, Morocco was very important for me to experience that, to go through some difficulties that the team prepared in August, a list of things that I need to go through. One was getting stuck in the dunes. And we went to Namibia and we didn't get stuck, so we had to get stuck on purpose. So we went in a hole very slow, we got stuck, and then from there we start working about going out. So there were a list of things that we need to go through, and between South Africa, when we roll over, when we broke the windscreen, in Morocco when we broke also the car, we had the punctures, running in the dust behind cars. So we are completing that list, unfortunately, because it's a tough thing, but I think we are going through the process that we need to go before Dakar, so we are happy with that.
So the roll was on the list now?
Huh?
The roll was
rollover was not in the list, but running without windscreen was in the list. So they planned to take the windscreen out, and for us to take the Google, the motocross glasses, and run with that. So we didn't know to do it on purpose. Unfortunately, it happened. Well, I think Nasser, obviously, he's probably the most prepared driver on the dunes and also in Dakar. So he has been very fast with this car as well. He knows very well the Hilux. So I think to have these teammates, Mark alongside me, but Nasser as a teammate, Ginil, give me so much information and so much help that I think my preparation that requires probably years and years of preparation, thanks to them, this time is shorter. So many things I can learn from them.
You are maybe the best driver on tracks and asphalt. How is different driving in desert?
Well, I think there is a lot of things that you need to learn from zero and probably reset your mind compared to asphalt. Is probably the biggest challenge is to read the terrain, where the bumps are, if you have to lift off half, a lot, or nothing. Then the dunes, you know, try to go with a good rhythm in the dunes, and interact with the co-driver as much as you can. It's the first time for me as well to have someone sitting alongside me, so many things are new in this kind of races.
So you start a training program a few months ago. Do you think that 6 months is enough to be ready for the Dakar?
I think you will never be ready for a race like that, but I think we did the best we could in the time available. I remember going to Namibia in August, and out of the service park where the truck was parked, we had like a bump of 40 centimeters, half a meter, and I asked Mark in the car, so where we go now, you know, because we cannot jump there, you know, so which way we need to go? And everyone looked at me like, go straight, don't worry, you know, because the car could take that, you know. And now we go over bumps of meters and meters, you know, and just to tell you a thing, you know, that in the very first time, I was scared even of a hole like this, you know, because
in Formula One,
in Formula One, if you go like this, you destroy the car. So I was taking care of the car so much at the beginning, and in 6 months, I think we did a lot of progress on that. Well, I thought about Dakar in probably last year when we finished Fuji race in WEC. I was with the Toyota Gazoo people, and I said, you have the program on World Rally car with the Yaris, and you have the program with the Hilux in Dakar. I think for the Yaris I'm not ready, but maybe for Dakar it will be nice to attempt, because it's not only a race of maximum performance, it's a race of adventure, a race of navigation, and I was maybe, you know, happy to participate. So we start to think about the idea, and it became reality this August.
Okay. When I talk with Kimi Raikkonen, he says it's difficult to hear the navigator voice. How about you?
Yeah, I think on a proper rally, I think it's difficult because you need to follow exactly the notes, you know, because the corners are coming one after the other. But I think in Dakar is different. The navigator is just giving you the direction, and maybe he don't talk for 10 kilometers because there is no the next junction. So I think in Dakar the driver keeps driving by his eye and his feeling. He's not following exactly the navigator. So I think on that respect is easier than rally for a driver's point of view.
Okay.
Has your rate of improvement been what you hoped it would be so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think we still have a lot to learn, but generally speaking, I think I'm happy with the progress we did. I remember Namibia first rally. We had the first jump out of the service that it was 30-40 centimeters, and I could not cross that jump because I was scared to break the car. And now if we look back, that we go meters and meters of jumps, you know, it's funny to see how much we progress in shorter time.
How much are you working with the car now? Are you changing it quite dramatically, or are you still with NASA's setup? Or?
No, normally I follow their setup. I have sometimes feelings that I pass to the team. Sometimes they are the same as they have. Sometimes there are feelings that the car cannot improve. It's a chronic feeling of these cars because I feel obviously a lot of roll in the car, a lot of movement on the high-speed corners. But always their answer is that this is a 2-ton car, you know, and you are 2 meters high. So forget about your feelings of Formula One. So there are things that they can do, things that I need to adapt. And but no, generally I try to follow their setup because obviously they have so much experience that for me is a huge help. Wherever they adopt, I try to do it and adapt myself to that setup.
It's very early, but what is the objective for Dakar? Is it a finish, or do you look for top 10?
Well, first I will love to finish the Dakar. First statistics I saw are like 60% of the cars they don't finish. So every 10 cars, only 4 cars they get to the finish. So it will be nice to be one of those 4. But at the same time, I would like to feel competitive. Maybe not over the whole Dakar, but some stages, you know, that you feel good and everything went fine. Maybe some of the top guys, they don't have their day, so to be competitive some days is one of the targets. And the final result, as I said, if you get to the finish without any big trouble, maybe the result can be also good. That's the second objective.
You mentioned the Yaris there briefly. Is there a plan for you to test the Yaris?
Not yet, no. I think the proper rally car, or the World Rally Championship, is a little bit more. I don't know. I have more respect to that.
Are you scary? No.
Not scary, but I think the difficulty on that is higher than the Dakar in terms of having the navigator telling you, and you need to trust that the next corner is exactly as he's telling you. While in Dakar you're still driving, they are only telling you the directions or the cap to follow or the things. So I'm a little bit more, let's say, respectful of how bigger the change could be for me to do a proper rally or the World Rally style. So if I test the Yaris for fun, it will be nice to test another car. I test also the NASCAR car in Bahrain 2 years ago, but if it happens, it's only as a one-day test, but not for a future.
2 years ago, you said you want to be a perfect driver. Is it one of a process?
I think you are always in a process to be a better and better driver, but I think it's very difficult to adapt to different categories and try to be very competitive in Formula One. Then you go to endurance races against the specialist on that and you are competitive, and then you go to oval racing against the best on oval racing and you are competitive. If you take one of those guys to Formula One, for example, they will not be competitive, you know, because it's extremely difficult. So I try to be more complete every day and try to target, let's say, impossible goals, and then try to make them possible slowly, you know, with the right team, with the right people around you, and learning from the best. So here I have some of the best drivers, with Ginil, with Nasser, with Ten Brinker, with Mark alongside. So thanks to that, I try to make the 20 years experience they have in 6 months, you know, and compress everything. Impossible on the paper, but let's see in January.
You have a plan after Dakar? You about programs, the future in cross country?
Not really. I think cross country, my plans finish in Dakar at the moment, but I want to see how it goes as well, the rally, how it develops, and obviously the preparation I've been doing now for this month plus Dakar will be a huge help if I want to do Dakar again one day in the future.
You sit together and think about
we
what
will
won,
think.
what the team won.
Yeah, I think, but not short term. I think that will be more medium, long term. I think next year, after Dakar, I want to prepare really Indy 500 again, with a good preparation. And 2021, let's see. I think Formula One with the new regulations is something that I need to look very carefully.
So you still want to stay in Formula One with the new cars?
Yeah, we'll see when the regulations are confirmed, because they still 50-50. When they are confirmed, if I see Formula One become a little bit more interesting and mix without one team dominating as now, it could be potential possibility to come back.
How would it have to change for you? More driver side, more mechanical grip, or what you need that you say?
I think they need to balance the teams. They need to balance the cost. They need to make more fair to everyone. They need to do more spare parts, common parts for the teams. So if you do that, I think the teams will be more together and they will be closer together. So, yes.
About the Dakar, did you learn to work on the car, to change something?
Yes, it's another part that is interesting. We've been training mechanically to change parts on the car. Mark has still to do more because the co-driver is doing more than us. But we went through some programs. We had to change front suspension, rear suspension, drive shafts. So all these things that may happen in the stage. So
that's new for you.
Yeah, it's very new. And I'm very slow. You know, compare my standards. You know, when you change the tires in 3 seconds and now you change the suspension in half an hour, it takes very long for me.
Talking about tires, Fernando, how did you learn to use them on this kind of surface?
Yeah, the tires were a very positive surprise to me. They were very strong, unbelievable how much punishment they can take on the jumps, on the rocks, on everything. So they were very robust. It is also a key factor on the tire evolution because you start with cold pressure and then they climb very high with the temperature. So there is something that you need to manage on the driving style and also on the chosen starting pressure. The buggies, they have a good advantage because they can regulate the pressure on the car, but we don't. But yeah, it has been a good surprise and still learning about the tires, how to manage them on the long stage. This is definitely impossible with the lack of experience, and also is I think a very long rally that I never done such a long period of racing. So I need to see how I manage that as well, physically, mentally. There are stages that are over 5 hours, 6 hours. And in this kind of races, you don't have time to relax. That was a big surprise as well for me at the beginning. On a racetrack, you have always straights. You are repeating always the same circuit, so you know some automatisms. Here everything is new. Every kilometer is new every day, so you cannot blink sometimes. You know, I realized that because you have the water here on the seatbelt. And I realized that I was drinking like this, you know, looking at the road all the time because you cannot, you know, close your eyes 5 minutes. So I think mentally it's very demanding. And I did only test of 3 days or Rally of Morocco 5 days. When you have 12 days or 15 days, I think the mistake can arrive. So I need to avoid that.